Hello. Welcome back to Chillin with Norman. What the fuck did I just do? Alright, never mind. I think we're fine.
Are you done with your intro?
Yeah. I spoke over the music, so we're good. How you doing, Chris?
I'm good. I'm sorry I missed our shit today.
I'd be a huge hypocrite if I gave you shit for that. I've slept through so many fucking things I was supposed to do. Like I'm definitely the worst with that. Oh. Yeah, I'm just starting this one off relaxed. I have a stupid idea for the drone prompt today that I think will be fun. Or possibly the worst thing imaginable. I'm playing music from Croc right now. Do you remember that game?
I've actually only recently played it.
Is it? Did they do a re-release of it?
Probably. That makes sense.
Let me look it up. I don't know if it's a remaster.
Holy shit, you're right.
I loved it when
I didn't know, even though you're the one that told me.
I didn't, I loved the fucking game when I was a kid, and I sucked at it. I don't think I ever made it past, like, the first area, but I just fucking adored it. I adored the music, too. Like, the music always stuck with me. This track right now is not the one that I wanted to play. I couldn't find an extended version of the one I wanted to play. But this is a good one, too. Never touched it again, though, because it was just like a friend I had in my old neighborhood who had it, so I would just play it when I was at his place, and that's as far as it went.
Buffoon. Welcome, as usual.
How you doing? I think 8, yeah, like for Chillin' with Norman, I'm gonna do it 8 p.m. every night that I can. I guess I
The 6 o'clock one was special.
Yeah, that was just me wanting to get an early start on it, just because I felt like going longer than 2 hours.
What is the drawing prompt today? I ask like I'm going to draw.
So I wanted to actually draw more of a scene than a character. Now, it's going to involve drawing a character. It's going to involve drawing 2 characters, although anyone participating only has to draw 1 if they want. Because that character today is Cousin Mel from Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer, but specifically...
Oh, no, buddy, come on.
Specifically, I want to draw the Grandma's gonna sue the pants off of Santa scene. And I wonder if I could play that song on loop during the drawing prompt without getting copyright claimed. Let's see. We're gonna test it. Grandma's going to sue the pants off of Santa.
I just showed Milo that movie for the first time.
What did he think, and what did you think revisiting it?
Oh, I revisit it every fucking year, but this is the first time he actually gave a shit. He liked it, but like, we liked it for completely different reasons.
I saw it as I got older, so I wasn't really the appropriate age. I didn't watch it in the time where I would have probably appreciated it the most. I kind of do just like it as like almost like kind of like a so bad it's good. Not that there's nothing to unironically enjoy about it,
No,
but I
it
love.
Is not. It is. I do not think it is good. It's not. I mean, it's not that it's bad. Look, I think the thing is, it's meant to be a bad movie because when you say, "Hey, let's make a whole movie about Grandma got ran over by a reindeer," which is a comedy song, a novelty song for whatever, you should expect it to kind of, you know what I mean? It's
I do appreciate it though. One, it's like one of the older Nostalgia Critic reviews that I still really enjoy. And two, I don't know, I just think there's something so funny about the almost non-existent segues into songs. Like, sing? No, sign. Segues. I'd rather sing. I don't know why, that's so fucking funny to me. But at the same time, I don't think it's funny for the reason they think it's funny.
Jumps right into Grandma the pants off.
I love what I love about the fucking Nostalgia Critic review of it is they compare it to like one of those like old pop-ups you would see on your computer, because like, yes, that's exactly what it fucking feels like. Just one of those really cheap animated cards. Dog walker, yes. Sometimes you learn. Oh yeah, I mean, and I'm just kind of saying that for like, just as like a notice. Obviously, you can also just lose track of time. You've got no obligation to be here, Toon Buffoon, but we appreciate that you come here. But yeah, we'll start by I'm gonna try to play that song over stream. It might get us taken down, but I'm gonna try to. If it's just the song, I imagine it'll be okay. I know I can't play the clip because it's not. It's definitely copyrighted on YouTube, because if it wasn't, the whole movie would be up on YouTube. And I don't think it is.
This is one of those ones where I feel like you right, like, you probably should just upload this to YouTube. You'll make more money off of it being on YouTube.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
anywhere else.
Yeah, for me, it was always like Cartoon Network reruns.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I remember it, because like Cartoon Network had it forever.
I actually get paid by one of your friends legally. I cannot disclose who, but I am a paid viewer. Sorry to disappoint. Dang. Alright, well, it's Chris. Or maybe not.
That's absolutely cute that you think that I would be paying somebody to watch your stuff.
Who is it? I'm trying to think of who it wouldn't be, you know?
It's Matt.
Matt, the thing, well, you know, Matt would have like a twisted reason for doing it, though. Matt wouldn't do it because he wanted me to like think I had someone who enjoyed my stuff. Matt would do it for the one day that I found out that it was all a sham, and that would bring him joy.
Oh, that's
Croc.
the character. I love how that's the character you portray Matt as.
Me and Matt poke at each other, you know?
It's your new rivalry.
Yeah, kind of like, since I don't talk to Zach as much, so whenever I do, it's like pretty pleasant. So now Matt has to like kind of fill that void that Zach left by not being mean to me anymore. And I have to fill that void by being mean back. No, I love my friends. You know that like Giraffe and Crow anime? You ever see that? Of course you've fucking seen that.
Probably. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
We both watch so much web animation. Man, I wish I got paid for watching your stuff. I'll start. Like, can we do like a reverse Patreon where I just start paying people to watch?
You can.
That actually is a thing. Fiverr.
But you can.
You can do that with like fucking Fiverr or something. You can do like. You can bot views for money. I knew people who did that. I don't really.
Who did Fiverr?
I don't know if they did it through Fiverr, but I knew two people who did that actually. And I almost get it in the sense that if you make it look like the video is being viewed, real people will start to watch it, but I think it's so not worth it to do that. Because when people find out that you're doing it, it just kind of ruins... It can kind of ruin your reputation, if I'm being honest. It can make people not to, like, ever, like, take you seriously after that.
I prefer the actual engagement more
Yeah.
than the views. Because, like,
Yeah.
I just recently got, like, the sweetest comment on one of my videos, and that shit's worth it more than any views will ever be.
Oh. Nice. No, that's awesome. It's a great feeling. Thank you so much for all the fan art, by the way, Toon Buffoon. Seeing the webfish in OC caught me off guard today. That put a smile on my face. I was working at the job that I don't like, and that made the day a little better.
Buffoon, where's my OC?
Where's Chris's OC?
I'm messing with you. I don't want to like pressure you.
Well, if I do put that character in Spiny, then Toon Buffoon drew them before they were officially drawn. But yeah, we're gonna. But yeah, that was awesome. I sent it to we have like a separate server where I just play like web fishing with like Chris, Stewart, and Austin all the time. And I just sent it to them today saying, hey, my guy got drawn. Alright, you know what, we'll start. I'm afraid of this one because I feel like I'm gonna draw something like especially bad with this one, but I wanted to change it up. I wanted to draw a character that goes past my comfort zone. And Cousin Mel from Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer is definitely one of those. Anyway. Let's play the...
Going jail for tax fraud.
Oh, that sucks. Okay, well, Austin's gone. I guess he's currently serving. Oh, what the fuck? Sorry, got a message and I might need to go downstairs ever so briefly.
Yeah, it's Austin actually went to jail this time.
Yeah, Austin's calling me from that's a story we've told before, but like whenever Austin references me being in prison, the joke is that somebody called him once claiming to be me. I think asking for bail.
Claiming to be you. You just have such a common name.
Well, yeah, and I guess it was just someone with a deep voice, so when they said Michael and Austin was like Bemis, the guy just rolled with it because it was like, oh, I got him, you know?
Well, no, because like my name is so common that people will, you know, somebody's like, hey, you know, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. That sucks. That's cool, though, but that sucks.
Austin or something in chat.
Austin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was actually planning on drawing Chris. I was going to ask you and Mitzi's permission to do so first.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Permission.
To draw.
Oh, and speak of the devil, here's Mitzi.
I'm not going to be staying, and I'm not going to be drawing, unfortunately, because I'm at work. I'm just on my lunch break.
Oh, gotcha.
Damn,
Well, should I postpone this one? I feel like it's a shame that I'm the only one doing it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna I'm postponing this one.
This one's a fun one. Let's postpone it.
I'm gonna do a really. We'll still do a draw. I feel like
Let's draw Krampus.
I could draw Krampus.
Let's draw.
Draw Crazy Boy.
I was gonna do Cousin Mel and the other woman from Grandma Got. We were gonna do Grandma's gonna sue the pants off of Santa.
It's fine.
I told Matt we should watch this movie together this year, and he was like, no, we shouldn't.
Oh, you should. Yeah, it's a funny movie. Like, not for the right reasons, but...
No, it's hilarious. I love that movie.
Yeah, I was telling them that I showed Milo it.
Alright, well, since Mitzi is here right now, can I ask them if I may draw their webfish in OC?
Yeah, you are absolutely allowed. You are 100% allowed to draw my little flanneled up razzle dazzle.
I don't want to speak for anyone, but I think on a previous live stream it came up too. I don't think anyone minds you drawing them. I know Stuart wasn't there to answer, but I sent the one thing that you drew of Stuart's character in it, and he liked it, so Stuart has no problem with it either. But yeah, you can. I think you've gotten the okay from pretty much everyone. I guess aside from like Tony, but I know Tony wouldn't mind either. Tony never joins for this.
My cat.
Tony's like so separate from this group.
Get Tony to join.
I would love to have Tony on. It's just he's like
Yeah.
oh yeah, like he's kind of got his own thing going on every night like I do. But I'd love to do like Tony will definitely be in it. I'm gonna do Shadow Generations of Tony just because I did Sonic Generations of Tony.
I have one request that if you draw my web fishing OC, that they be wearing the "Women Want Me Fish Fear Me" hat. That's my only request.
I'm gonna be right back. I'll be gone for like a minute. I won't be gone long.
This is like your own stream. Ask them to not though, right? And have somebody have an issue. So, you know. How are you?
You know, I'm working a double shift tonight at the hospital mines to
Miss you, Mitzi.
pay for my presence.
I hope the shift you are on goes smoothly.
So far it is. I've taught several patients how to make origami cranes,
Hell yeah.
which is the only thing I know how to make.
That's better than me. I know how to make folded paper, and that's it.
Do you know how to make a boat hat?
No.
Chris, I gotta show you how to make a boat hat. That's not true. So there are two things I know how to make. I know how to make a boat hat, and I know how to make a crane. Chris, I gotta show you how to make a boat hat sometime.
I'll make a boat hat, and then I will, or just, I'll make a paper boat, and then I'll sail it down the gutter, and then I'll get eaten by a clown.
You guys ever have sun butter?
No.
Hmm.
What is that?
It's peanut butter made with sunflower seeds.
It's butter made from the sun, Chris. Come on.
Yeah.
The sun comes
You
down.
milk
gives
the sun and turn it into
Mitzi.
butter. You gotta milk the sun.
Like an unrelated question, but do you collect like dolls at all?
Do I collect what?
Dolls.
I'm not as big into doll collecting as my friend Sage is. Like, they're, like, deep into it, but I have a few dolls that I collect. I mostly like to collect, like figures, like the vinyl figures.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've got the vinyl Monster High figures. And I've got, the Unicorno figures that I love so dearly. But I have a few dolls. I have a few dolls that are, like, important to me. Like, I've got, my Sugar Plum Barbie, and I've got, Raven and Apple from Ever After High, who are holding hands.
I'm just asking out of curiosity. Are you one of the few people that like owns the Monster High Beetlejuice?
I wish.
Okay.
I wish. That thing is so fucking expensive. I need it, but I can't. I would. There are several of the Skullector dolls that I would love to have. Like, I would love to have the Elvira doll.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's a Wednesday doll. There's I really like the Chucky one. The Skullector doll is based off of that one's really cool. I would love to have the Gremlins one.
Yeah. No, the sun lactates. That is an uncomfortable thought. But I really want the Greta one, the Gremlins one. I think they should go back to Gremlins and give me Stripe, and then I'll be happy. I really want the Beetlejuice one, but that's gonna be impossible.
I apologize.
No. We're talking about dolls now. This is a doll stream.
Never apologize.
I talked to my sister and I talked a little longer than I initially thought I was going to. So Deltarune's definitely off tonight.
One of these days we'll be all together for Deltarune.
I'm off the next 2 days, so we'll see. That'll be fun. I'm
off tomorrow and Friday.
Michael, do me a huge favor, and I'm saying this more of like hyperbolically because I'm making you do it. We're gonna have to play Earthbound at some point for how much like you like Undertale. Earthbound has gotta be on your docket at some point.
Yeah, I mean, honest to God, I thought like there's that stream you want to do for couch co-op starting next year.
Yes.
And I thought Earthbound, if you're okay with this, would be a great first one.
I have another first one, but
okay.
that could be
a second. Maybe like the second one.
Second or first. Let me see which one's easier to get my hands on.
Do you?
We should do a stream where I GM the Sonic RPG.
Oh boy.
I mean, you want to try to play the Sonic RPG?
It's my area of expertise regarding games.
If you want to, go for it. I mean, maybe if you actually succeed with it too, maybe you can give me some pointers for actually completing the Spiny playthrough of it. Because I just can't with that one. I hate looking at it. I hate playing it. I hate the music. I hate
the tabletop RPG.
Oh, that makes more sense. I was like, Mitzi, I never heard Mitzi going on about actually, we've had debates about what an RPG even is. So, like, I was like, that doesn't sound right, but I was just going with it. The Set AM RPG would be fun to try.
Yes. I want to GM the RPG.
I know that
This is my area of expertise, both as a Sonic cartoon fan and as a tabletop fan.
I know they probably don't mind. It's just common courtesy. You probably sent this a while ago, Toon Buffoon. However, I do have a plan on perhaps doing sort of a Christmas drone depicting the main Spinacast. I just like to be polite, though. Yeah, I think that, I think it's nice to ask. I think like I get it too, especially if it being like a smaller channel. Like you are the first person that ever did fan art. I think you're currently the only person who's ever done fan art. I've had other people draw Spiny, but they are people who were paid to draw Spiny for like the channel.
Olivia's not paid to pay Spiny. Olivia's not paid to draw Spiny.
That's true. That's true. I feel bad. I just don't feel good calling Olivia's work fan art because it kind of feels like
an employee. She's an employee.
But like Olivia, I do love Olivia's Spiny drawings. So that one was one I didn't have to pay for. So I do very much appreciate those. Like I said, I've always got like Seth Kearsley and Olivia's drawings like side by side on my TV.
To be fair here, there is ulterior motives to when we draw Spiny though. So technically, you know. It's not that we drew it out of the goodness out of our heart. We drew it to be in an episode.
Olivia kind of did though when she sent like the Walt Disney me and Spiny.
Yeah. I'll tell you this though.
She drew it to be paid as an employee of Spiny.
Toon Buffoon. I'm sorry, I gotta correct you. It was Sonic 3D Blast. The RPG debate because I do remember a big RPG debate and I think it was in 3D Blast.
We've had multiple debates.
Yeah, but the one I think that was recorded.
Listen, a lot of people think I'm arguing when I really am just genuinely confused. This has been a note of my life, like this has been like a consistent piece of my life where I genuinely don't understand, and people think I'm arguing.
Well, here's the deal: arguing and debating is way different.
Yeah. I think we were just kind of talking about. I messed up one of my facts. I shall banish myself to the Shadow Realm. I had to be a dick there because it's like Toon Buffoon almost like it feels like you understand this channel more than I do sometimes.
Here's the deal. Watch this. Watch this. We rewatched Blast and they're right. Because 3D Blast and Blast, I feel like we've had some very similar conversations.
It's possible. It's actually very I don't remember everything we've talked about in Blast. I just remember the 3D Blast talk.
Well, see, after all, Blast happened like how many fucking times, so it is probably inevitable that we've had that conversation. Like, it's happened, I know for sure that we've had conversations that have reoccurred throughout this whole channel.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let me plug in my tablet and start working on Krampus, but we'll keep talking, sorry.
It's mainly because you refuse to hire other people on this channel to talk with you. I'm joking, we don't get paid.
What up?
I do. What are you talking
hold
about?
on. I have a knock on the door. Ow. What's up?
So this one, basically, you have like two different options. There's a switch at the bottom, so you can switch back between...
And I don't get paid to be on Spiny Norman.
So, like,
I'm here a lot to not get paid on Spiny Norman.
Okay, cool. Alright, thank you. Okay. My crystal meth arrived, guys.
We can say that on stream.
Alright, earbuds are on. What's up?
How's the crystal meth?
Well, I haven't tried it yet.
Oh.
Baba Booey. Yeah, I have no idea what tonight's gonna be. We'll figure it out. I keep wanting it to be Deltarune, but then I don't want to like continue it without someone who was voicing in the first one.
You should play Girls Go games.
I don't know if my Krampus is going to be acceptable or not, but we'll figure it out.
I think Spiny Norman should play Roblox.
I installed Roblox for the first time because there's a fucking remake of Sonic R on it. And then when I opened it up, tried to open the Sonic R, it says, you need to have an account for 30 days before you can play this game. And I'm like, why? Why on earth would I need to do that? This is literally the only reason I made an account. I'm not even interested in fucking Speed Simulator. I only made this account so I could play this one game. Why? I've never seen that as a fucking requirement before.
I feel like to be the moderator of this, whatever, that's not really a chill topic there, dude.
I know, you're right. You're right. I apologize.
Make a whole video on it. Just make a whole video shitting on Roblox.
It was probably just the universe giving me a sign to not play Roblox.
It was them trying to coerce you into becoming a
universe is
Roblox
crazy.
player.
I also love reviewing the 3D Blast videos because of the Spiny with a flaccid snout on episode 3. Spiny was drawn differently before. What do we know about Krampus? I've seen, obviously I know what the character is, but the only media I've actually seen him portrayed in... I know that there's more out there. There's even a movie about him. Yeah, American Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you called it completely.
You haven't seen the Cramp-ass movie?
No.
I mean, all I know about Krampus is that he's basically the anti-Santa.
He attacks the children.
He's basically the Satan, Santa's god. He punishes all the bad children by putting them in his sack and beating them with a stick or something.
Give him a belly button.
Something like that, I don't know.
That's funny. Oh my god. So for a video, I'm replaying the Earthbound games, right? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, Michael would absolutely love these, except for probably the first one. I feel like you would get frustrated, and we would never, ever, ever get through it. Which is fair. I keep saying Earthbound because I'm a bitch, but I mean mother, and I think you know what I mean when I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about actually playing Earthbound, though, right?
Yes, it'd be cool. I'm playing it right now, but it would be cool for you to play it too. I think you would really like Earthbound a lot.
Yeah, that's the one I'm most interested in out of, the 3 games in the series.
I think Earthbound 3 probably is the one you probably would like the most.
With Lucas.
Yeah. Is this your submission to Smiling Friends? This looks like a Smiling Friends character.
I need to see this guy.
I'm actually about to reference something that Zach Hadel made, so kind of.
Oh my god, he's so cute.
This is a reference to a Hellbenders episode where that one kid's stuck in the tree and pops out and says, "Somebody help me, please!" I can't attempt to do a Zach Hadel shout right now. No one can fucking do that. He's got, he literally has, a condition that allows him to have that voice.
Yeah.
What an amazing voice to have, though, for, a voice acting career.
Yeah. Your Krampus has such a cute little ain't I a stinker face on him. It's like, look at me, I'm such a stinker. Ooh, I'm the Krampus. Ooh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna
Why
get
do
you.
you sound like a Midwestern mom?
Ooh, I'm the Krampus.
Oh,
I'm a
the
mother of
Krampus.
4. I'm the Krampus.
I'm the Krampus, baby.
You'll never catch me.
Yeah, guess what? I'm like, Joker. Well, I'm like him, but like 10 times worse. You don't want to mess with me.
You don't want to mess with me. I'm the Krampus.
I put way too much fucking rum in this drink. It is like bitter.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well,
I normally don't. I don't normally overmix. I'm normally pretty good. Have a good rest of your shift, Mitzi.
Goodbye, everybody. Pray for me. I'm about to go into the hellfires.
Don't cry for me. I'm already dead. Maybe it should be darker. Nah, because then it's gonna. I gotta be like, I don't know. When I do this in fucking Photoshop with like very basic line work, I can't ever make the colors too dark, or it just blends in with the outline. I need to learn more drawing techniques.
Yeah.
And we'll give him like a dark green sack or something like that. Fuck. Oh, I posted a little list today. I posted it both on like one of our servers and my Blue Sky account of like just like rate in the top 10 games that were like new to me this year, and a lot of them actually were 2024 releases. But I do have Cold of Lamb at number one. I think that's the most fun I've had with a game this year.
Oh yeah.
I never even beat it. I'd like to get back on that stream, but I just had a lot of fun with it. I mean, there's Krampus.
I've played so many games this year. To be fair here, my video games are my form of entertainment. So like, of course, I fucking played a bunch. It's like, I feel like that's my thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely balance it more. Like, so I probably... I don't play it nearly as many games as you do, but I do play more than Matt. But then I don't watch as many movies as Matt does, but I probably watch more than you. It's just like, I have like a balance between movies, TV, and games, and I'm mostly okay with that. I do wish I would watch more movies. Like, it's just hard to find time always, but I just feel like there's like... At their peak, I think movies are the art form I enjoy the most. But sometimes you have to sit through some stinkers, and because of Hollow Victories, the amount of movies I watch a year, it can be like half of them are bad. Because not only you have Hollow Victories, but then you just also have a film that you thought you might like that you didn't. But I watched a lot of good, like I said, I have my 2024 list up. To be fair, there's only 2 of them that were not made by Joel Hafer. But
I'm going to say this though.
I liked all of them. Go ahead.
What you just said about bad movies is literally the exact thing that my film teacher said. Always remember, there's somebody out there doing what you want to do, but way less competent than you'll ever do it.
Yeah, you've shared that quote with me a couple of times. It's a good one.
No, it's one that keeps coming back in my life.
Yeah, it's a good quote.
And I remember like so many people being like, "Well, that's not nice," and it's like, "Well, it's true."
Yeah. And it is, at the same time, it's not even... It is kind of nice actually because it's encouraging people. It's like encouraging, and the only people that it insults are people that aren't there to hear it. You know.
Yeah. I think the thing is that the reason why I think I like video games the best is because like I am a bitch that likes to control narratives.
Oh yeah.
Like a movie's good and rewatching a movie is really good, but like when it comes to like because I mean video games can either just be super simple, whatever, like an action movie, but my favorite video games of all time are RPGs, and they will never. I don't think they'll be ever able to be something that can connect to it, right? Like, I also feel like I'm one of those few people. I know a lot of people want to see video game adaptations of movies, but I feel like there's a point where it's like just play the game. You'll get
Yeah. Yeah, like my big one that I bring up is there's a To the Moon movie coming out, and I am excited to see where they're gonna go with it. I'm very curious, but if they're literally just adapting the first game story, I guess I'm glad that the story is gonna be more accessible to people who don't play video games, because I think it's to be fair though, I don't think I can think of a single person I know who, because it's gonna be an anime film. Like I don't think I can think of a single person who will watch anime but won't play a video game. You know, like everyone I know who doesn't play video games will also not watch an anime, but because they're lame. But but I love this To the Moon story so much, and to me, like the game has like 3 to 4 hours worth of content, and there's no way the movie is going to be 3 to 4 hours long. There's just no way in hell. It's probably going to be an hour and 30 minutes at the longest. And I just feel like it's going to be missing. So if I've heard Mitzi brought up the point that maybe they're just going to try to tell an original story with the Doctor characters for the film, and I that might be a best case scenario. But if they're just going to adapt the first game, which I think is more likely, then shit. I mean, I'm looking forward to see how they're going to tackle it, but they're going to have to rush a lot of it.
and I'm not saying that like film adaptations are bad for anybody that's listening to this in the future.
Of course.
I'm just saying that like when they come out, you shouldn't expect them to hit the mark. And I'm talking about this more with like heavy narrative ones. Mario, Sonic, and Mario and Sonic are very easy to just fucking do that. But like,
yeah. They're kind of perfect.
Then I can't say, and even then I kind of disagree with Sonic, because like you have to kind of get the vibes, because despite the fact that I love the live action movies, once they're done, I wouldn't go, yeah, let's go back and do that immediately. You know?
There's such a cool aesthetic to classic Sonic, both in the original trilogy and Mania, that I would love to see get adapted into a film, and that's like to me the number one thing the live action films are missing. Not only are they going for like modern Sonic's design, which I don't mind. I mean, Adventure 1 and 2 are probably like my top two. I don't know. I always get like so mixed, because there's times I want to say like the classics are my favorites, and there's times I want to say the adventure games are my favorites. And I think the adventure games, like, I 100% why people would say the classic games are better, but I don't know. I have so much. Those are the ones I'm like truly nostalgic for, because I did play 1, 2, and 3 when I was a kid, but not only did I not ever get very far into them when I was a kid because I wasn't good enough at any of them, so I'm only nostalgic for like the first few levels of each of them, but also, I just replayed Adventure 1 and 2 so many times. Like I was just Adventure 2 story I was so obsessed with, and that's why I think it's so cool that there's a live action like version of that story now. Fucking Keanu Reeves as Shadow, fucking Jim Carrey as Robotnik. It's like insane to think about. If you like go back 10 years, I would have never fucking guessed that would have ever happened, you know? It would have been impossible to guess that would happen. But
yeah.
Tomorrow we've got the movie DLC to look forward to in Shadow Generations, which I'm pretty pumped for. Pretty pumped for the movie, yeah, while we're at it.
Oh no, definitely. I'm not. And like I said, I just feel like I just prefer video games.
I did read what you posted about Krampus, by the way, too, Buffoon. I just didn't read that one out loud. But yeah,
it's just because like I think the other thing I like about it is it's more or less of I like the legacy of video games as well. I like the legacy of everything though. Like I love the history of film. History is just the thing I enjoy. You know, but
Right.
the history of gaming is interesting because it has so many ups and downs that are crazy. Like even just the existence of Sonic is crazy. The knowledge that Alex Kidd was first, and
Yeah.
how much Hail Mary, and how much they put into the idea of Sonic, because it wasn't just like somebody pitched him. They like made a hit. They like test tubed a hit for Sonic.
Sonic, there's just so many interesting stories, and it's kind of funny because the older I get and the more I look into it, the more it's like there's always so much more to learn about it. That's why I'm able to dedicate a channel to it, is because honest to God, if I name my top 10 favorite games of all time, Sonic would appear in that top 10, but probably once or twice, you know?
Yeah, no, and
Because as much as I love, and I'll let you say what you're gonna say after this. But as much as I love Sonic, one of the biggest reasons I can dedicate a channel to him is not because he's my favorite character of all time, not because he's even my favorite video game of all time, but just because there is so much to talk about, and I do love it. The care I have for the series is very real, and I think I think I am like a lot more forgiven towards a lot of the games than other people are. Not quite as much as Chris is, but I appreciate that Chris is more forgiven.
I'll explain that in a second, but continue.
But I was gonna say, like, because I like your mindset on it a lot. You've persuaded my opinion too. You've made me go a little easier on the series, but also I also do just typically have fun with them. I don't know, Lost World, I was ready for Lost World to be a huge piece of shit with how I've heard people talk about it, but recording the series, I've definitely gotten frustrated. I mean, I know, me getting frustrated, that's fucking unheard of, but, I for the most part, have had a fun time with it. Like, I don't think it's really that bad. It's different. I understand the Mario comparison, I do, but not in a bad way. It's just more. It's a little bit less sprint to the finish. It's not really the boost formula at all anymore.
When it comes down to Sonic being compared to Mario, the argument will always be no shit. The creators of Sonic were like, hey, let's do Mario but faster. So, like, when they hear people go, well, it's what Mario did. Yeah, well, their concept is probably, let's do this, but... Because that's what Sonic is. Like, I think that's the thing, is that people forget that, but going to what Cartoon Buffoon said, it's more than E.T., and that's what's crazy. E.T. was the push, right? E.T. was the final straw, but it's actually, weirdly enough, if you don't mind me getting into this, Michael, we're in the same damn situation, almost, that we are in E.T., with stuff like the death of Concord, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting how the gaming industry is coming back into the stupid idea of oversaturation, because that's what it was. It was oversaturation without quality control, and it's hilarious on how we're on the precipice of that, because there is a lot of people that are kind of tired of uninspired games, and it's funny how like young the gaming industry is, that it's able to crash like that, and I hope one day we could get there with film. But
yeah, well, I'm gonna say, like, this is reminding me. Go ahead.
The reason why I say this is because, like, The Lion King, I would be fine if Disney had another crash.
Like, oh yeah, no, I mean, they might need one. It's kind of like this conversation. It's a little different because I think some of the themes discussed in this video are a little heavier than what we're talking about right now. But it still kind of applies to like the end of an era almost. With recent, I gotta shout out a video I watched yesterday from a YouTube creator named Pillboy called "The Death of Hollywood."
I was bitching about that.
It's a great video, and it kind of reminds me of this. Like, we're hitting this point in time where people are tired of seeing the same shit. They're tired of like a lot, and that video goes way more into detail. It brings up stuff that I'm not going to talk about here. I'll talk about it, but it's just not relevant to this conversation. I have no problem talking about it on stream. It's just not in this specific conversation. It goes in two different categories, because it's more it's more than just people being tired of stuff, you know?
It's the corporate entity and shit like that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's also a lot of them in kind of intentionally misguiding people's priorities and what the actual problem is.
Yes. No, exactly. That is why games. You are dead on with the indie games thing, and like, it's interesting because like we're in this like it's really funny because like indie games will always probably hit the mark better than the industry, but it's so we've talked about this here multiple times. But I think the thing that's really crazy is that, like film and like video games, one of the things that I wish corporate understood is, how did we get here? Oh, we got here by throwing a giant Hail Mary, or we got here by, because like Nintendo's a company that innovates, right? Argumentative. And so is Sega to a degree. And it's so quick for them to be like, hey, we have this cash cow. How did we make this cash cow? Oh, we fucking took risks.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that, like, sometimes maybe a company will get too comfortable, and then when they realize it's not working anymore, they have to go back to making risks. Disney has been down that path so many times. Now, the thing is, I think they normally course correct quicker than they have been lately. But, to be fair, the MCU in its prime was only, like, 5 years ago. So, it's not like it's been that long of a time since they had something successful going. They had shit going on during that time, too, of the Disney live-action movies. It's not like they were perfect. But, they're a company that I have a lot of problems with them. I have a lot to criticize about them. But in their defense, often when they've had many times throughout their history where things were not going well for them, and that's when they really, like, kind of sat down, reevaluated, and took some bigger risks. Like, the Disney Renaissance was so popular for a reason. It's because there was a time where something like Lion King, Aladdin, Little Mermaid would have not fucking existed with them.
Well, in a technical standpoint, the MCU was a risk too, because imagine
For sure.
because I mean, don't get me wrong, Olivia's making a video on this that'll come out probably next year, but they're not the first ones to sit there and say, hey, let's make a cinematic universe. But they're not the only comic company that has that, and it was ballsy. Especially saying, because hear me out, right? When you tell people, and before you say Hulk, no. But when you say, hey, we're gonna start the MCU, not with Spider-Man, not with the X-Men, but with not Captain America, with Iron Man, and we're gonna make him the main thing. Bullshit. People didn't know who Iron Man was back in the day.
No, I didn't.
If you're a sweaty geek like I am, yeah, you do know who he is, but even then, I didn't like Iron Man. I didn't care who he was.
It was such a bold move, but it's one of those things where it's like, at first, like, before we have all of the context of what it led to, it seems like a terrible idea, but then when you look back at it, like, seeing how much of a success it was, it's kind of brilliant, and because, like, not only was it, like, you know, the start of this massive film franchise that so many people tried to, like, replicate, and I'd say the only one that came close to succeeding with the cinematic universe was the monster movie universe, and I don't even like those movies that much. It's just, I think they gave people what they wanted typically. Like, not all of them were praised, but I know people liked the first Godzilla, I know people liked I even liked Kong Skull Island, actually. I know people liked Godzilla King of Monsters for some reason. I personally thought that was one of the most boring things I've ever sat through, but hey, to each their own. But it's the only one that even mildly did it successful. The other thing that the MCU did by starting off with fucking Iron Man is, it gave fucking Robert Downey Jr. a second chance at a career. Like, it completely revived him, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's because it's like, casting him as Iron Man it's not even Iron Man. Tony Stark is what... It's funny that more people, I think, will refer to him as Tony Stark than Iron Man. The person, like, inside of the... Because of how good that performance was. Because of how perfect he was for that role.
Well, the thing that's even funnier is that, like, he's kind of a perfect role in general, because that's how Tony looked for a minute, right?
Yeah.
Like, Tony actually looks like Robert Downey Jr.
I have gone to the cinema so many times and watched an insanely depressing movie, because I like sad movies. I'm actually going to watch a sad movie with Stuart later tonight. We're going to watch Memoir of a Snail. Please watch that. Anyone listening to the stream, however you are able to watch, please watch it. It's sad, but I think there's enough light at the end of the tunnel to where it's like anyone should be able. I think anyone can enjoy it. You're going to be sad while you watch it, but I don't think you're going to leave it sad. I think you're going to be okay with it by the end of it. But I just to finish my thought, I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. Let me just finish my thought real quick, because I had a point. The thing that amazed me, though, I've seen so many sad movies, but and I'm not even saying this is a bad thing. I think that they knocked it out of the park with this scene. Tony Stark, okay, Endgame, do I really need to specify Endgame spoilers? Do we all know how that ended?
No.
All right.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear spoilers for Endgame, I guess mute the stream for like 20 seconds.
Stick your fingers in your ears and scream at the top of your lungs.
I never heard anyone. I heard people sobbing when Tony Stark died. I never heard that in a theater. It was never like so many people crying that I could hear it. You know, like over the loudspeakers, I could hear people sniffing. I could hear people crying. It's like, God, that's what they. So many people were like so attached to that character and that performance. It was genius. It was genius, and I think now it's just like that was the right place to end it. So I think the MCU might have done better if they kind of. I don't know. I can't really tell you how to fix it. I can't even say any of the new movies are bad because the only one I saw was Spider-Man. That's the only new. I saw Guardians. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I can exactly tell you how to fix it, and it's very simple.
Yeah, Mary Max is one of my favorite movies ever made. And that's why I was so excited for Memoir of a Snail.
Can I loop around to Memoir of a Snail? But let me tell you how to solve the MCU really quickly.
Yeah.
X-Men or Fantastic Four, that should have been your initial jump because the Avengers is done, right? Move on to another thing. Now with X-Men, Marvel's a bunch of bitches, or Disney's a bunch of bitches, so X-Men's gonna always kind of fall hollow until they grow a pair of balls. But the Fantastic Four would have been the way to go, especially, I mean, because I know where they wanted to go, but, like, you could have done way more things in between that, but you should have given us another team movie, or at least a build-up. It would have solved that problem. Also, if I can, and you can add what you want on Marvel, but I'm kind of done with that one.
Sure.
When it comes down to you bringing up, I haven't seen a Memoirs of a Snail, by the way, so please don't spoil it. But I feel like that's the thing nowadays that we don't have, and I think Pillboy even brought it up. We don't have challenging films too much nowadays because because one of the things is I was watching Doug Walker talk about Moana and being like, oh, I understand if people want to come back to this world. So
I just watched that actually.
And I'm like, no, don't give that a pass. That's why we're here. We're here because people want to come back to the world, and there's nothing to come back to. You just, I get it that you want that feeling, but wouldn't you rather have an actually good, wouldn't you want to come back to a good film?
What bothers me, yeah, for sure. What bothers me so much about that, too, is, like, there's so many good movies. What's up?
Not shitting on Doug, by the way, I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. I think that, like, there's so many good movies. So for 2024, I have a list of, I think now it's 10 movies that I've rated for the year so far. One of them is Inside Out 2, which I liked. It's, it's not the top of the list, but I liked it. I thought they did a good job doing a sequel to that. And then there was Memoir of a Snail, which is my favorite movie of the year. I would be genuinely amazed if anything passed it, because Memoir of a Snail is not just my favorite of the year. It has a great chance of being in my fucking top 5 movies of all time now. I can't say that until I've seen it more and I've sat on it longer. Because there's just, but I think it probably is, because I adore every scene in it. I love the entire thing so much. And it's the thing is, it's so similar to Mary and Max in a lot of ways without feeling like any sort of rehash. Like, you could tell me that these two movies are like part of an anthology series, and I believe you. I know it's the same director, obviously, but there's so many similar, like, techniques used in telling the story. There's so many similar ideas being passed around between these two, but they still manage to stand out on their own beautifully.
Can I ask you a question that one of my film teachers put to us?
Mm-hmm.
One of my film teachers asked the question of who do you think is the most important, the writer, the director, or the director? You know, how do you feel about that question?
It's a little hard because
See, I don't like the question because it's absolutist.
yeah.
Because here's the thing: is that films aren't that, right? Because I would argue there's another factor you need to edit in, and that there's multiple factors, such as actors, editors, you know.
Oh, I will say this. I do okay. So in terms of actually making a film, I don't want to like downplay anything, but because I think the writers are important, I think the actors are important, I think the special effects artists, the animators, whatever the project needs, I think they're all very important. I think the actors are the only ones who get like tons of praise. If directors, if certain directors get praise, not a lot, not all of them do. I think most people could probably name 10 movie directors, and then they'd be blank, you know. And it'd be the big ones like Stanley Kubrick and Tarantino, you know, and I love those two. Like they're well known for a reason, but you know, Adam Elliott has made 2 movies that are probably in my top fucking 5, and no one knows who that is. And I mean, it makes sense. He made 1 movie in 2008, 1 movie in 2024. It makes sense that no one knows him, but it's just like the bottom line is people know actors more than directors, but I think that the thing I always heard in school, and I agree with to an extent, but it is very subjective, and I don't want to give an absolutist answer either, is I think the editor is the one role that might be just as important as the director. And I know that's a little bit, there's a bit of a bias there with what I do, but the editor, what a lot of people don't realize is that if a movie is going to work, normally the director and the editor need to work very closely together. Like very often the director is frequently with the editor doing like working together to make sure it's like not only is it following the director's vision, but the editor also needs to like really help. Like it's shaping the movie into what it is. You know, everybody else provided the parts. Now the editor has to put it together.
Yeah, no, see, it is a trick question, and the thing is, I feel like at the end of the day, it's more of a question that introduces a conversation. For me, I was the one kid in the class, not kid, adult, that brought up the fact of, fuck that question, because, yeah, you could have a really good director, but if no one's acting with them, you don't have a movie. You could have a really good script, but if, once again, no one's willing to direct it, you don't have a movie. I think that question is such an absolute question, and I'm not trying to be like, ha, I got you, bitch, but...
No, right.
But I do believe that one of the things that I feel like we need to really stop talking about, and this is more or less of because I wanted to know your opinion on it, I'm not disagreeing with you. All I'm saying is I think that films take so many people in reality. You could have a really good director, but it doesn't matter if you don't have an actor that's willing to work with them. If you don't have a film crew that's there, you know, none of it is possible. I mean, it is. And before you go, oh, well, indie films do it. Yeah, but that's still, they would probably rather have other people helping,
well,
you know?
All right. The thing that makes the question complicated for me is that more often than not, my favorite movies come from a director who also wrote the movie, or at least helped write the movie. So I think a lot of times with the movies that I truly love, and it's not always the case. Actually, a big example of that, one of the movies in my top 5 is Adaptation, which is a movie directed by Spike Jonze, but it was written by Charlie Kaufman. And Charlie Kaufman is I think he's a fantastic screenwriter. And he has directed himself, but initially he was just writing screenplays. And he was lucky to get like a really talented director to work on his movie. So that's a case where it's like, I think the director and the writer were equally important because the movie is directed and made very well, but the voice of the movie is still very much Charlie Kaufman. And there's so many instances where I can't tell that because I don't know a lot about the writer or the director, but it's probably the same deal. But adaptation, I know for a fact because I've seen so much of Charlie Kaufman's work, and the style of the filmmaking is different from how Charlie Kaufman directs, but the voice is still 100% his. So it's like this great Spike Jonze, this great director style with someone else's voice. So it's so weird. But then there's tons of movies where the director was also the writer. I mean, that's almost all of Tarantino's work. Adam Elliott, I mentioned, but talking about Memoir of a Snail and Mary and Max, that he was a writer and the director of the film. I think he might have had help with the script on both. I think 2 people are credited as the writers. I could be wrong about that. You can fact check me on that one. But so I do think it is. I think you're right. I mean, ultimately, I think I'm just kind of like cycling back to. I do think it's a trick question because I think it's like so circumstantial. I think there's movies where the director saved it. Like Toon Buffoon's saying here, the director saved it from a shitty writer. But I also think the opposite can happen, where a movie can be like kind of poorly made, but you're endeared by the script. Like there's still like a story there that you're into.
And the reason why I'm saying like I disagree with being able to choose one is because director saved it, but they also had a group or a cast that's willing to work with them, right? For that to normally work, right? Because once again, no, somebody goes, oh well, what if it's a 1-person film? Fine, yeah, whatever,
Yeah,
but
right.
In like a normal situation, because like there's so many times where an actor just will not cut it, or an actor will be difficult, or they just are not capable of producing what is needed to be done. So I feel like it's such an amalgamation and such a simplification of the film itself, right?
Yeah.
Because I think it requires everybody, because that director isn't directing air. They're directing people, and the people and the director have to be on a wavelength. Everybody has to be together to a degree, or it won't work. That's all.
Yeah, no, I agree.
A conversation I wanted to have.
Oh yeah, I think it's a good. I'm happy you brought it up. I think it's a good conversation to have. I will say too, like just going kind of like writing off of what you said. I think that the best directors will know, because I look, it's very possible to make something good on your own. I mean, absolutely. I think everybody that I've done it. Chris has done it. Olivia's done it. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, maybe you two have always worked together, but I'm assuming you guys have a video that was more one than the other. And then Matt's made great stuff along. Okay, yeah, fuck me. I don't. Yeah, but
the problem is me and Olivia started with Super Smash Bros, so there's never been.
Right, like that makes sense. I was kind of making an assumption there, but yeah, no, I'll shut up. I'm wrong.
No. Me and Olivia have made stuff separately. It's just most of the stuff we put out there is such an amalgamation.
That makes sense.
The fuck that happens.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. That would happen. Like because even if like there's a video or a project that you weren't working on together specifically, it could kind of be like you both do still rub off on each other enough,
Yeah.
But I think it's very possible to make something good by yourself. But I also feel that the biggest and grandest and best projects you do kind of have to work with other people. It's cool to make something alone sometimes. Like Bo Burnham's Inside is just him going through the pandemic, losing his fucking mind, writing songs for 1 hour and 30 minutes. And it's wonderful. And I believe he made that with like little to no help. So it's possible. I mean, and again, I think a lot of YouTubers are like that, where they're completely working on their own. But when you learn well how to work with people, you can make something like really special. You can make something truly amazing. And I think that the point I was getting to by saying that is I think that the best directors are the ones who realize they can't do it by themselves. Yeah. When it's a group project, because there's some directors who want to control everything. And because they feel like, and the stubbornness can be a good thing. The stubbornness of like really wanting to stay true to your vision can be something that's to admire. But at the end of the day, if you act like you're smarter than everyone and you know more than the editor, you know more than the actors, you know more than the cinematographer, the director of photography, and then your movie comes out like a piece of shit. you clearly fucked up. Where maybe if you did your job correctly and you put some faith in your crew, it wouldn't have come out that way. I think that's how some of the worst movies of all time come out, because I think that a stubborn director can make a masterpiece, but a stubborn director can also make something that me and Matt are going to talk about on a podcast about bad movies. You know, it is good to. I think that the best directors who are going to like make multiple movies in their life, and they're gonna be good ones, and they're not going to worry about that one masterpiece that they have to have every say in. I think they're the ones. I think that they exist by knowing the importance and significance of every role, and knowing their significance too. Because being a director, I think, is extremely important. I think it's very important. It's just you do have to trust other people, I guess, is the bottom line.
I think the thing that's funny about that is that I think this is why I like film a lot, is because I enjoy the conversation of film more than I enjoy actual film. To a degree. Mm-hmm. I like the behind the scenes. I like making it. Yeah. I like talking about film, but like this is just such a basic bitch answer, but I think it's more or less that the industry has turned me off so much that I do not have desires to work with amongst it or in it.
I'm not interested in that anymore either, but that doesn't mean I'm not interested in making movies. I bring up this guy so much that people are gonna think I'm in love with him, but a little bit. No, Joel Haver is one of the I have like never been so more inspired by someone in my life. Like, and I'm saying that as like a nearly 30-year-old. I might be older than Joel Haver. I don't know how old Joel Haver is, look, but
I've been in love with somebody so much that I've married them. That's my wife. You were there.
Yes, I was.
You signed papers. You were my witness. I have to make that clear because somebody can hear that wrong.
No, it was very sweet. Chris asked me to be her witness, and I was extremely touched by that. I was very honored to be up there with Olivia's brother signing that paper.
And then he filmed bees.
And then I filmed bees. If you ever go to my Mackle Shidackle page, you can watch Matt take on the wasps.
But anyways, I like the conversation that film brings, and it keeps me, because I'm not saying that I'm not going to make things, it's just I am less give a fuck, and I think that that's really what makes the indie scene, like Has Been Hotel, Hell of a Boss, and Smiling Friends gives me a little bit of hope. Mm-hmm. Because, like, I prefer to make something similar to that than whatever the fuck corporate wants. And I know that that's such a bitchy answer, but, like, it's just, I don't know, I'm tired. I'm really tired.
I think that's why me and you love stuff like Newgrounds so much. I can't even say YouTube anymore. I appreciate that I can post to YouTube. I appreciate that you can post to YouTube. But I almost get the feeling that sometimes YouTube would prefer it not to be that way with the way it's ran now. Where Newgrounds has always felt like very in favor of the artist. But I think it's just like, I love the idea of going indie, and like that's why Joel Haver is such a inspiration. Now, look, don't get me wrong. The guy had over 2 million subscriber channel. He has a budget. He has Patreon. It's not like we're not quite on the same level. He has money to fund these projects, but he still started from where we all started. You know, and
2,000 subscribers. He has 2 million. We are not the same.
It's better to have 2,000. Here's a list of reasons. Hollow Victories becomes the deciding factor in every director's thought process. They start panicking every flaw, and you two hold the power to ruin anyone's career by talking about their movie. Oh.
I think the thing that's really funny is that and I think it's very clear. My Donkey Kong video, I hope that and most of my videos, especially now, I think I can bring up the internet is actually why I make my show. Mm-hmm. The internet and perception is why I make my show, because asking if a game holds up is something that I feel like it comes from the idea of like the angry video game nerd and yada yada. But the reason why I also like talking about transcendency of gaming and stuff is because like stuff like the internet, Checkpoint, right?
Yeah.
That's what inspired me to do that video. Period. I wanted there to be a segment.
That was my favorite. That video got me back into the spirit with that. I think
no type of videos, because that's crazy to me that because there's somebody out there that came across the Internet Archive, especially in 2020, that probably never knew that this was connected to a game.
Right.
You know, the human connection that's there and Nintendo's absolute disregard for it.
Yeah.
Blows my fucking mind, and you know, and I don't know. I think that it's interesting because it's not like Nintendo's the only one that does that. Companies do that shit all the time.
It's amazing how monstrous it is too, because I feel like you could have some old Nintendo exec talking about, like, you know, being interviewed or doing a behind the scenes thing where they talk about something honorable from their past. Like they talk about this place that had meaning to them, or this like event that had meaning to them, and they would be used as like an inspirational, oh, look at how human this person is kind of thing.
Oh, that's correct.
Yeah. But then they'll shut something like that down, like completely disregarding any significance and importance it had, you know?
Like that, like the significance to that is literally, like, if you...
That's Krampus, Austin.
Yeah. When Nintendo brings up the fact that they're like, oh, we love our fans, it's like, when you take down stuff like the Internet Archive, it's like, no. Because, like, you cannot tell that somebody sharing their most intimate moments of life, death, and success, and or loss on your music means something. I know you're dying. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm good. No, yeah, I'm sorry I'm coughing over it.
No, it's all good. But, like, because, like I said in my video, I wanted to bring up, you know... I wanted to put something on the on the whatever, because during that time, you know, I had a kid, so
yeah.
That would have been my internet checkpoint actually. Meeting you guys, whatever. I've said it before here, but that checkpoint is interesting, and it blows my mind that a game that one of my first video games I've ever seen, transcended into something like that, and also coming back. One of the other video games I've first ever seen was Sonic and Knuckles, and one of the greatest friendships of my life kind of is now held up by Sonic.
I think, yeah, I mean, it is a shame that they can't...
Hamlin, but I would have never predicted Hamlin in my childhood. That would have sounded crazy, a 5-year-old being like, there's gonna be a lawyer, and he's gonna be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I gotta say, I think that, like, it is a shame because, yeah, it feels like you see these people, it's like, oh, they should know the significance they have. Like, why are they being, like, so cold about this? Like, this series means so much to the people who are sharing these things, and like, yeah, maybe some people, like, people shouldn't be emulating the Switch, sure, but I mean, people are buying your games. People are buying your games despite you being scummy to them, you know? That's how much it means to them, that they can, like, you can piss them off this much and they're still gonna support you. But yeah, no, I just kind of imagine this, like the CEO or, like, someone who's only focused on the business side of things, and it's like, okay, I mean, I guess you are doing what you got to do for, like, maximum profits, although I think some of these decisions are going to hurt you, actually, but when you reach the end of your life, what's that going to mean to you? Like, that you made this company more money, you made this company richer, what's that going to fucking mean? Like, you completely spoiled the part of, like, one of the more value. I understand that business is important, you can't be a dumbass, you have to but, like, some people go so far with it where it's like, Are you proud that you were viewed as, like, a cancer on this industry? Like, people like Bob Iger, you know, like, or who's David Sars? What's his fucking name again?
Sazlov or whatever.
Savlok, yeah. Like, well, it's just like, are you going to be on your deathbed? Are you going to be proud of that? Like, that it's like, I was a major part of the film industry. You were considered a cancer of the film industry.
I feel like Pillboy brought it up perfectly, though, is that they don't matter.
I agree. They're scapegoats for sure, but
Um,
that's like it's not just them. It's so many people.
I think the thing that's interesting is I understand people not liking Nintendo's practices on emulation. And I feel like they're the most. I feel like they're the most annoying when it comes down to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also have to ask the question of. There does come to be a question because as I'm working on a new video,
Sorry.
do you want to keep paying for the same shit? You know, like
Right.
there does come to be a point of where, like, I mean, emulation's inevitable, right? But I feel like the thing is, because back in the day, to spoil what the fuck I'm working on, Mario's turning 40, y'all, next year.
Back in the 90s.
Yeah, well, actually, that was the 80s. But
Fuck!
but Mario, you might remember this. Mario's 20th anniversary, they re-released Mario All-Stars for the Super Nintendo on the Wii.
I was a sucker who bought it.
And congratulations, that game's rare shit. But,
I don't physically own it, to be fair.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. Why'd you do that?
I did a digital purchase of it.
You should have 3D All Stars. You mean?
Yeah, like Mario 64,
Okay.
Sunshine, and
that's 3D All Stars. I'm talking about the original Super Nintendo All Stars, right?
oh yeah, no, we did have it. It was given away without our permission.
Damn, I'm sorry. But here's the deal. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because, like, I definitely see Nintendo tries sometimes to re-release their games and shit, right? But there's a point of where it's like we don't need it anymore. Like, maybe don't package it anymore.
I should like guilt trip my parents with that. Just say, hey, this game that we had that you gave away when we were kids. This is what it's worth now. Good job.
Yeah, it's $60, and that's like loose.
Okay, well, I thought you said it was hard to come by.
It is hard to come by. $60 on disc only is not good, dude.
I don't know. When I think of something really obnoxious, I think of like assholes that are charging like hundreds of dollars for fucking Pokemon Snap printer paper at too many games that costed like $200 fucking dollars for printer paper because it was the Pokemon Snap printer paper.
Michael, let me make this clear to you. If it's the disc only and it's $60, it only goes up. Like, if you had the box, it's way more.
Oh,
And if you
okay.
had the original box, it's way more. Like, $60 doesn't sound like a lot.
I'll just lie and say it's worth like $2 million.
No, it's to go for a couple hundred, which is still a lot of money.
I'm gonna try to sell it for $1 million.
Bitch, somebody will buy it. But here's the deal, though, is that
You'll buy it.
Yeah, if I had the money, yes. But here's the deal: is that there's a question of how many times do you want something to be. Yeah.
I do,
well,
Austin.
yeah.
I do remember that.
There's the question of how many times do you want something to be constantly repackaged to you, right? Maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe you should just let it go, and maybe because I feel like emulation, the moment you bring attention to it, is the moment that like they kind of get pissy about it. Like the bigger emulation websites are hit. It's never like the quiet ones.
And the thing is, if they ever actually wanted to like remake one of those games, like change it significantly enough to where you actually can recharge for it, people would buy it.
I mean, shit, people will buy it.
Thousand Year Door and Super Mario RPG are great examples of that. It's the same game, but they were completely remade, so people got really excited. I was so fucking thrilled with the Paper Mario
3D
RPG.
All-Stars, they didn't even look. If they didn't say it was limited, people still would have bought it because you're not just repackaging it; you're having 3 of the 3D games.
I want
all
to
in one place.
like just thinking about it. I want to fucking replay Thousand Year Door again. Like it. That's how fucking good it. They're like the original game is a masterpiece, and then the remake, like the changes they made to it were like good changes. Like I was a little bit worried about hearing they were going to change the soundtrack and they were going to change this and that, and then I was just like, oh no, the new soundtrack's also awesome.
Your question, Michael.
Yeah.
We talk like this on a regular basis. What the hell would our blunt rotation sound like?
If you take a hit or two, we could do it right now.
I do not have anything to.
I didn't say that. Anyway.
Hey, you already said crystal meth on this channel. It's all good.
No, disclaimer. Get in that rotation, Austin. Disclaimer: there is no crystal meth being smoked. No. So, our blunt rotation. I don't know. Let's. What would we talk about? What's the topic?
I think that's the problem. Is me and you talk about everything.
We would start on a discussion about Sonic R and its impact on culture, and it would like escalate into like talking about one of the world wars. Which one? Depends on the day. Legalize me guna. Are you still there, Chris?
Oh, I'm here. The thing that's funny is to say legalize. It's funny to me because every state that I've lived in, it's legal.
Not in this state.
With that being said, though, I think that to actually talk about that, I don't know if Sonic R did do anything culturally, and that's what blows my mind. I know it did it technically, I guess.
Legalize nutmeg trips.
It kind of helped, Sonic in his argumentative downfall, right? Because, like, can I ask you a question that I've asked you probably before, but I kind of just want to ask it to actually...
Yeah.
Do you think Sonic... Because we've talked about this passively. Do you think Sonic Extreme would have actually mattered? Because I think it would have actually hurt the console, in reality.
It doesn't look like it was actually that good. I heard a lot of people when like the game was like first being rediscovered online, they were like, "Okay, have a good night, Austin." There was people saying like, "Oh, this would have been the best Sonic game ever made if it actually came out." And like the more footage that got released of it, it's like, no, it wouldn't have been. It looks kind of interesting, but it almost kind of looks interesting as like a tech demo, you know, like not really something you want to play a full game of.
Hey, can you give me like a couple seconds? I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. Probably not going to be going on too much longer, but it's been a yeah, I mean, honest to God, I kept thinking we should play another game, but then I was just like, this is just kind of a nice podcast episode of Chillin with Norman. I'm all good with it being more relaxed. But I hope we can do Deltarune tomorrow. I would love it if we could do Deltarune tomorrow. I don't know what everyone's schedule's like. Matt might be off tomorrow. But Mitzi might be working. I don't know. But I really want to finish that one, because that one was fun. I'm also just like, I have like the desire to replay it too. Like I really wanted to go through it again because it's been a few years. Didn't Mitzi say they're off tomorrow? Okay, cool. I forgot. So if Matt's off tomorrow too, and Austin isn't studying, then we can do that. And I don't have to work on Friday, so I could even just like go past the 1.5 to 2 hour episode. We could do a longer one. Warning: the current stream's bitrate is fucking low.
Yeah. Oh, is the stream over?
No, it's just not running well apparently, but I'm gonna assume it's not gonna be too bad since we're just on a still image of Krampus.
Can you finish your thoughts on what you were saying about
about what?
About Sonic Extreme? I kind of had to get out.
Oh yeah, you're good. Yeah, I just don't think it would have been that great. Like I said, I think it looks good as like a fun tech demo to play around with for like a mini game. Like that could be a special stage in a 3D Sonic game. But like a whole game of that looks like it would get old pretty quickly with like the fish islands and just it kind of looks like what a lot of what people complained about with Frontiers footage, just randomly placed items everywhere.
I think the closest thing we're ever gonna get to it is Lost World, but I also think that like financially it might not matter, but Sonic Adventure came because Extreme didn't happen, and I think
Yeah.
that's kind of the better course.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Man, wouldn't it be kind of interesting to see how different the series would be? Like, what chain reactions would be caused if Extreme did come out?
Yeah.
Because that could change the entire series. Like maybe not even one of the games that happened after that game would happen now.
Yeah, there's so many things that I wonder. Like, one of the other ones I wonder is, like, what would have happened if the Sat AM Sonic game came out? Like, would have that actually changed anything?
Yeah, I don't know. Sega bought Nintendo. Oh yeah, that's the alternate reality.
You know what's really funny is that Nintendo is the company that's known for making its own worst enemies on a regular basis. Because, like, Sony is that, argumentatively, Microsoft is that. And if I can talk my shit one last time about gaming shit, and then we can move on to something else, I think Microsoft might be going the way of Sega.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. You sure? What makes you think that?
Their biggest push is trying to put Xbox games or Microsoft games on everything except for a console, which kind of defeats the purpose of a console, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, like, they're starting to, like, Xbox Game Pass is starting to go everywhere, and even then, Microsoft's CEO or Xbox's CEO brought up the fact that, like, if the Xbox doesn't sell a certain amount, they're done. And it's funny that the company that kind of helped make the Dreamcast, because, yeah, Microsoft was heavily involved with the Dreamcast, it's funny that the people that helped Sega get where it was with one of their greatest consoles is kind of following Sega's footsteps.
Oh wow, yeah, that's super interesting. I like it. You know, like Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft have been in this like competition for so many years now. Like it's weird because there used to be more competition, but it really did just narrow down to those three, and it feels like it hasn't changed in such a long time now.
It's exactly going to change, but Microsoft could announce another console, but, like, let's be real here, the numbers aren't adding up anymore.
Yeah.
And
that would be insane if they if it was just like between Sony and Nintendo now.
And you know what the funniest thing about it is that I can be very bold, and somebody can correct me technically, but Microsoft and Sega are paralleled in a weird way. Because the Master System did really good, but the Genesis sold very well. The Xbox original sold really good, but the 360 sold really well.
Right.
And then there was that weird middle console, the Xbox One, that sold a little bit. The Saturn sold a little bit, and then the Dreamcast, right? That didn't sell at all, but had a lot of great games. The only difference is Microsoft's Xbox Series X and S don't have those games to back it up. But it's crazy to know that Microsoft may be going the way of Sega, being on other consoles and doing their own streaming service, which might be smarter because Game Pass sells better than their consoles do.
Yeah, man, yeah. What a jeez.
Like, don't take my word for granted. This is all fucking speculation.
Yeah, but
I do not have numbers with me. But we do have to be honest. The Xbox One didn't do as good as they thought, and the Xbox isn't doing as good as the PlayStation 5. So.
I think between like Sony and Nintendo, if it just came down to those two, I wonder if like either could ever like dethrone the other, because it just feels like neither can replicate the other's market. Like, Nintendo offers something that Sony and Microsoft are more in competition. Their games are more similar. Nintendo is just so different from those two.
Can I argue something?
Yeah, go for it.
There is no competition. We like to say there's a competition. There's no competition.
Just bad decisions, then?
No. Because Nintendo has never been competing with Sony.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you just mean between those two.
The moment the Wii came out, there was no competition, because Nintendo as a company exists in a crazy place that Sony could only dream of, right? They have a theme park. They have
That's
movies.
true.
They
That's
have
true.
merchandising. Like, Pokemon is the most popular fucking franchise, period. You can say whatever you want, but it is the most successful franchise. Nintendo has done something that other gaming companies can only dream of. So there is no real competition. Like, in gaming, yeah, there's competition, but in the... like, Nintendo will outlive the PlayStation until fucking... unless something dramatically happens. Nintendo is one of those companies...
Nintendo is, like, more appealing to everyone because most, like, big gamers who like will play like a lot of Sony and Microsoft games are also gonna want Nintendo games, but then families who aren't even into video games will buy a Nintendo console.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Nintendo definitely is not, like, I mean, they have the luxury to make shit like the Switch, right? They have the luxury for the Wii U to fucking fail. They're a company that can be weird because they had such a strong ass start, you know, and Nintendo's one of those companies that will always kind of outbeat Sony because Sony just is... Sony's really in competition with computer, PC, and PC's always going to beat Sony. It's just how it is. Like, I mean, there is kind of a weird... Yeah.
Nintendo threatened to buy my house and steamroll it when I tried to pirate the original Mario Bros.
No, they would. They would, probably. But Nintendo is kind of the Disney of gaming, you know? And I think that Nintendo's gonna be around for a fucking long time, and I think that Sony is only in competition with PC, and it's a competition that will never... I think a gaming competition in truth isn't even a thing anymore, you know? I think people want the console war so bad, but there just isn't, you know? Because even the proof that Sony isn't even really in competition with PC is the fact that Sony is even arguing and saying, hey, you know what? Maybe it would be wise for us to release our exclusive games on PC. And do you want to know why? And that's why I say there's no competition, because at the end of the day, Nintendo would much rather fucking die, and they can successfully say this. Their exclusivity is so damn good that it doesn't matter. If you know you like Mario, Zelda, or whatever, Mario, Zelda, Pikmin, whatever the fuck it is that you like, Nintendo's not gonna put it on PC. It's never gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
So Sony has had to bend a knee. Spider-Man is coming to it. God of War I believe is coming to the PC. Ratchet and Clank has come to the PC. They have bent the knee to the PC. There is no longer a competition. It's just, hey, can we keep selling our consoles? And
That's true.
And Sony is the big boy in the console market, but the Nintendo Switch is coming up there, and I think, and be fair here, that doesn't mean Nintendo can't fumble the bag. If the Switch 2 isn't a portable console, it'll probably fuck the console. Gonna be honest.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty significant change now.
But yeah, I know that I'm like talking a lot of mad shit here, but and I'm not saying that Microsoft is solidly dying, but like, let's be real here. You've probably heard less and less about Microsoft exclusives.
Yeah. No, for sure. Oh, for sure. And that's partially because of what I actually look for, but some of them would just like happen to come up more often.
That's a question for you.
What's up? Oh, question. Does Mitzi have a Blue Sky, or should I tweet at you with the image of their web fishing OC? I don't think they have a Blue Sky. I think they're talking about getting one, maybe. But yeah, if you tweet it at me, I can save it and send it to them.
I think the other thing is that Sega bowing out, a lot of people make it sound like it's a big deal that they bowed out of the console market. But I also
they did pretty good.
Oh, I think it was genius. Sonic Adventure being on the GameCube meant a lot, right? It gave them a lot of goodwill. So much so that I would love to see them make other games. I think
they got to
a good place where they can make other games now.
Yeah, they got into like instead of being stubborn and only sticking to their own stuff, like they got into just being a video game company. Yeah. And that worked for them. they've got a number of very popular properties. They don't have like they don't have as many as Nintendo does, but they have two that like completely cover them.
Yeah, I think Sega. Because I mean, let's be real here, though. If I can be honest with you, Sega had its populars, but I feel like Sega was like the PlayStation of back in the day, of where like you have Sonic, and then you have a lot of like other games. Like, yeah, like I can lie to you and be like, oh yeah, Shinobi was popular. Oh yeah, Golden Axe was the shit. Oh yeah, Kid Chameleon was the shit. Yeah, these were all great, but like Sonic was the boy, dude. Sonic was it.
Yeah, if I name those characters off like to just random family members, they're all gonna know Sonic. They're not gonna know anyone other than that. Or if I mention like to my brother from Nintendo games, he'll know Star Fox, he'll know Kirby, he'll know Zelda. He's not like he doesn't know them that well, but he'll know like that they're games that exist, they're series that exist.
Well, see, even the fact that I have to say like Golden Axe, like I can't remember their names. I know Shinobi's ninja's name, but like if I said his name, I don't think it would connect. I'm not saying that Sega didn't do a good job. Sega did a great job. Hell, Altered Beast, but Sonic was the boy. Sonic was it. Sonic was the superstar.
Yeah, he was.
He attacked people in the '90s with his balloon float.
Back in the '90s.
But yeah,
that's why
fucking SpaghettiOs. And
I did my Sonic and BoJack drawing. I want to do more of those. I know who each character would be. I have like a really stupid one. You remember like fucking Vance Wagner from BoJack? Do you remember who he was? He was like the canceled celebrity that wanted to make Horny Unicorn with BoJack.
Yeah, no, Sonic did have the wave blast processing. Yeah.
I was thinking that character, if I did that another one of those, like, Shadow's BoJack, but then Fang could be Vance Wagner. He'd be a perfect Vance Wagner. Accidentally just made a tweet if I knew Sonic had the blast process. Yeah, no, for sure. Let me, wait, hold on.
I'm holding.
Okay, I'm gonna open up Blue Sky. Oh, that's awesome. I love the colors that you did on that one. They look great. Here, I'll send that to our group chat.
You saw we're not playing a game, Toon Buffoon, and you're just hearing me and Michael talk our shit.
Yeah, I kept looking for my games. There's not really much that I wanted to do tonight. I've just decided, like, yeah, we can just kind of chill and chat tonight.
You're just, unfortunately, you're just hearing Michael and I talk, like, regularly. This is nothing new. This is how we talk.
But hopefully it's at least been interesting to listen to.
Like, I mean, normally we like to... Normally I think there's more of... Okay.
Wait, I'm trying to fucking... Okay, I'm navigating through this so poorly. Anyway.
But yeah, no. I guess I've been talking a fuck ton, too.
I really like the way that you did Mitzi's character, actually. I think it looks really good. I think the shapes work really well on it.
Yeah.
No, that's solid.
No, it came out really good. I like that one.
Let me see. I do my homework to these streams. 80% of my experience is hearing you all just talk. Yeah, that makes sense. Whenever I tune into a live stream, I'm normally just listening while doing something else. Same thing with like podcasts and all that.
Well, with that being said, let's get right into politics. No.
Killer Keemstar here. He's going
like
to
the
be a
thing
politician. He's going to run for president.
Okay.
It's going to be horrible. He's going to run for governor, at least. He's going to do something.
Michael, real talk. I'm going to be real with you. And this is the most I'm going to say about politics on this channel. And you can stop me, but I'm going to say this either way. I would normally be like, Keemstar can't win. I don't
Keemstar
fucking know anymore, Michael.
Keemstar could win.
I don't fucking know anymore, dude.
It could be stopped. It could be stopped, but Keemstar could win.
No,
I'm
not even
convinced.
I'm not gonna go deeper into it. I don't care about that kind of shit. All I'm gonna say is that there would be a time where I'd be like, nope, I don't think that's possible. But hey, you know what? It's fucking possible.
Oh, I don't even know why I fucking brought up fucking Keemstar. That was just random. You said politics, and Keemstar is the first person that came to my head.
Shut the hell up about politics. It also shows how fucking old we are that we're talking about Keemstar, and I say that like jokingly because he was a nasty part of YouTube.
Oh yeah, yeah. That shit was all going down about a decade ago now, and that was like that, and he was been around longer than that. That's just like when the Keemstar drama was getting started. That was like 2015 or 16, I think. So we're close to a decade at least.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into it, but
yeah. Yeah, we can leave it there.
I think if I can talk one last thing, because we probably should wrap this up because you got a thing later.
Yeah, and we're close to the 2-hour mark. That's about how long most of these will be. We might do a longer one occasionally.
Hello.
Oh, Matt's here for the very end of the stream.
Yeah, Matt pulled a Mitzi.
But we'll talk, you can be here. We can be here for like a few more minutes. Let's go ahead, Chris.
I think do you think
Chris has given 3 one last things.
Oh no, I could give like 5 million one last things.
Oh yeah.
I think
so could I. We both do that.
I think the thing is when it comes to YouTube, I don't know if I'm like if content isn't catered to me anymore, or if I'm just fucking old. Cause like I don't know, YouTube.
I think those two things are one and the same.
Cause yeah, it's not that I'm not interested in YouTube. It's just a lot of the stuff that I look for is not. You know what? I'm pulling that bullshit that I hate when people say about film. I could just get off my ass and look deeper into it, I guess. But, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel... I'm not saying that YouTube has changed for the worst. It's just, I don't...
It does, I will say, like, it's not... With YouTube stuff, it's not hard for me to find something that I'll like, but I do often just fall into the cycle of what's in my subscription box is the only thing I'm going to seek out. And then it's just like, I'm subscribed to a couple of channels that I find like mildly amusing that upload every single day, and I'm never really in the mood to watch it. And then I'm subscribed to some people that make stuff that I genuinely love that only upload like once or twice a year. Then there's like a couple, like people like Shay Frillis and Ellis Mark, I'll watch whenever they upload something, but, or one of you guys, of course, but then it's just...
I upload too much for you to keep track.
But, I think the only one I haven't seen yet is the, from recently at least, is the 3-minute one about Link. I still haven't watched that.
That's funny, because that's like right now my most popular video, period, and I don't know...
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta look that up.
I don't know how it happened.
I gotta go. Probably gonna end this to take Sadie out soon. We're
Because I did watch the Link one.
That's my most recent one.
Oh, you guys got snowman, snowwoman, for your profile picture now.
Yeah.
Almost 400 views, nice.
Yeah. It says 400 on the on my other things, but yeah, I don't know if that's accurate. But
see it when I believe it when I see it.
I don't want to. I don't really care. I'm just surprised. Well, I'm also surprised that
just being an ass.
Because I have like Donkey Kong and like fucking Zelda did decent, and I expect like 50 views.
You recently crossed 200 subscribers. That is a lot. It is hard to get that many people to subscribe to you. my fucking Mackle Shadackle page, which arguably has some of the stuff I put the most work into. Not lately. That Wasp video was very easy, but
No,
the
you're across another state. What are you talking about?
no, that is like the furthest like closest to like out of the country I ever filmed. Which is funny because it just looks like a park, you know, it's just like a regular park, but that was like technically across the bridge but still in Michigan land. That's how you described it, right? Or am I not supposed to be talking about this?
I don't really care.
Okay. I just realized maybe I shouldn't be saying that.
I look at this point. I think here's the issue, right? Is that as I definitely like to not exactly say where I'm at, but I think that like if you pay attention to my channel, it's you can tell where I've been.
If you want me to unlist this one, I will, Chris. I'm sorry.
Look, I'm going to tell you this right now, and I'm going to say this just to be fair here. I am not secretive of where I've been and where I am. I just don't want to openly say exactly where I am.
I got you. Okay.
And it's not even for the people watching. It's just, you know, I never know exactly where the future will go.
No, right.
But I will say this, is that, like, it's very clear that I'm in Michigan. I have filmed a very popular convention in Michigan.
I always forget who... Yeah, I always forget who's like said what state they're in, who hasn't. But
I'm not even saying that I'm there now. I'm just saying that like I've lived in Michigan and I've lived in California. I've been to Texas and shit. I've just been everywhere, and I've made it very clear that I've been places. It's just I don't want to. I guess I will say it. Yeah, I'm posted in Michigan, but I'm not staying here. So. I'm in the state of Michigan. I was for a long time in California, and probably am going to go back. Probably so.
Right.
I feel like if someone was really dedicated, they probably could find my old apartment.
Oh shit! They
between
could
like the videos I shot and like. There was a video Michael dropped, like, after I had already moved out.
My video might, like, help narrow it down, honestly. My video, I think, got, like, more outside your area than you typically did.
Yeah. But also, I didn't live there at the time you posted that, so...
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, you were already out. That was, like, around the end of the time you live in there. It did take me, like, a year to post that video. Not a whole year, but close to a year.
But, like, I think the thing is that you could tell...
No, it may have taken me a year. Sorry.
Through my con videos, you can tell where I'm centralized at, to a degree, right? Because, and I'm going to say this, I'm not there anymore. I lived in Sacramento at one point. You can tell from my Sac Anime videos that I worked on with Rich Alvarez. Richie, if you took my name off that, I hate you. But, I worked on those. I was commonly in Rich Alvarez's shit, or Olivia was, so, like, I think... And I'm not saying that Richie's there, he just frequents there. He also frequents San Jose as well, so...
And, my massive...
If that's too much to say, I'm sorry, Michael.
No.
But...
Say what you're comfortable with.
But I'm just saying, I was in Sacramento for a little bit, and I loved it, but...
I've made it clear that I'm in PA. Like, I don't really have an issue with that. I don't... need to like name the town, but I
think the thing is that like because one, we're not popular enough, but if we ever do make it to that point, if you ever make it to that point, I move too much.
I'm definitely not leaving PA anytime. I'm not leaving PA anytime soon. I don't think.
If you wanted to, you can find me and my co-creator's old house that is like 3 times removed because I don't live there, but my address is my old address is in an old video. So there you go. Don't harass people if you're gonna look for it. But because I do not live there. I do not live near enough there, so please don't bother. But yeah, no, I'm not trying to say that I'm here's the thing is I don't want to be like super private, but I don't know. I just I live in the Michigan area. I'm not gonna say exactly where, but if you you kind of can know that because one of my most here's the shit, right? My most popular video, period, on my channel, right, is a Yumicon video, and that is clearly in Detroit, you know. So
Yeah.
and
All right.
Just because you're at a con doesn't mean you're near the con. We go to too many games every year, and like Michael's the only one local to that, and even Michael is not that close to the convention.
No, it's like an hour and a half away.
I'm just saying that, like, not saying what state I'm in is like ridiculous because it's kind of clear, you know. Because like I said, I've done a lot of Yumicon videos, so it's inevitable that I'm somewhere in Michigan. It's like California's a little different because California is like a bigger state that's like filming a con in Texas and going, "Yep, find me."
I apologize for cutting us off here, but I do really need to go let my dog out. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna end it here. My lights are flickering on and off. Oh no.
With that
I don't
being
like
said,
that.
Michael lives in this exact area. He lives at.
Come by, give me a visit. If I'm not home, wait on the front porch.
Wait on the front porch and have a sign, and he'll give you cookies, and he'll invite you inside.
Oh no.
Michael lives at the following address: 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington D.C. So any email for him you can just send there.
No,
Matt, you meant to give a fake one, but you accidentally gave the real one.
Michael, you know damn well you're leaving that space soon, by the end of the year. So,
anyways, bye.